All right, welcome everyone to our member highlight for April 2024. I'm very excited to have Karen and Bob here with me today. Karen, you and I go way back. You are one of the OGs here at Rogue, where we have known each other for over 10 years, right?
Yes.
Do you
Ab-
remember what year were you diagnosed?
Somewhere between, it was a long process. Um, 2010, about 2011, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
I chose to kind of sort of ignore it. And then my neurologist recommended going to Hoag for um, rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And there you were. And I kept saying, well, I can do all this stuff when you were doing exercises, but um, eventually it became a little bit harder and I had to become a little more diligent about working out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's, you starting so soon after being diagnosed is really what we want for people. And we would love for people to come do the exercise and say, yeah, I can do this. We want you to be successful and do things that you can do, but also be challenged a bit. And just maybe, exercise more than you would if you were doing it on your own. Because, yeah, you are perfectly capable physically of exercising on your own, but maybe maybe it doesn't happen if you're doing it on your own. Whereas when you sign up and have kind of a place where you're committed, someone who's expecting you to be there, people to work out with, cool people to meet, those are sometimes the things that help you do the exercise more consistently and more frequently than you would if you're doing it on your own.
Yes, absolutely. The support group that we developed back in 2010, 2012, was a core group that followed you till we ended up at the current Rogue home. And everybody is going through different levels of pain or discomfort or lack of being able to do something. And it's just very comforting to know that you have a place to go and people to talk to. And there's always someone that says something that triggers your brain to say, "Oh, I'm going to try that."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, we've been working out together, starting at Hoag at the hospital. Then we went outside in the park, and then we were working out in a PT clinic, and then renting in a gym space, and now here at Rogue. So yeah, you've been there all along. It's been so awesome to get to exercise with you and, really see you do very well. I mean, if it's been close to 14 years since you were diagnosed, not to say that you don't experience any symptoms. I don't mean to say that at all, but you are doing remarkably well from my perspective.
Well, and age helps or hurts, depending on where you are in the scope of things. It's not exercise was almost like a four-letter word for me when I was working. And then I got involved with Hogue, and then the exercising got a little more consistent. And I try really hard now to do a minimum of 3 days a week and try and walk, but the weather can sometimes be a hindrance, whether it be too hot or too cold.
Yeah, even in California, the weather still affects us.
Well, and it does seem to make a difference with my Parkinson's more
Hmm.
so than before.
Hmm. Yeah.
So at least that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. Yeah. We all get to have at least one good excuse that we just use over and over and over. So yeah, but you have been super consistent over the years. It's been great to see. It's great to get to work with you and also have, your support because this is very much, a two-way street. We're excited to be here and provide exercise, but we get so much out of working with all of you and seeing what's possible and, getting to develop these long-term relationships. So,
Yes.
and I know there's a lot of other people out there who aren't that excited about exercising and it hasn't been part of their life prior to being diagnosed with Parkinson. So this is a huge, lifestyle shift of what do I need to do to take care of myself? And I have to do something, or I ideally should do something that I haven't really done before and I don't necessarily like. But would you say as you've gotten into it, can you tell that exercise is beneficial for you?
Yes, I unfortunately have to admit that it is good for me. And there is a difference when I do exercise versus when I don't, for
Hmm.
whatever reason I may not be. Um, COVID was really rough on me, and that's where I think more of my symptoms started showing up. Um, and so I'm trying now to consciously work out physically, mentally, and get back to where I was.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great goal. And it's something that we see happen all the time. Often it does just take doing a little bit more to really get back to where you were, as opposed to just trying to maintain over time. So just trying to push, whether it's intensity within a class or trying to, really maintain that frequency or make sure that those walks happen. And sometimes it just takes a really conscious effort of planning in the day, like what is the best time of day for how I feel and how the weather is. Does it need to be earlier in the day or middle of the day or later? And just being really strategic and kind of planning it out as opposed to just waiting for it to magically happen, because then it doesn't necessarily happen. That it starts getting dark and you're like, whoops, didn't go for a longer walk today.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so we are going to shift and talk to Bob a little bit as well. But is there anything else, Karen, that you would want to share? Any encouragement that you'd want to share for someone who's maybe newly diagnosed or just getting started with exercise?
Just that you have to do the work and be your best advocate and work with your neurologist. And if you're not comfortable with that one, make a change. Because you have to be comfortable and feel like there is support there. And it's just something you have to do because no one's going to do it for you.
Hmm. Yes. So important. And that's something we talk to people a lot about is, yeah, finding a neurologist that you really feel like you can have a good working relationship with you. They listen to you, they answer your questions, they have time for you. Because, yeah, a lot of times people think, I just have to take whoever I get scheduled with or, whoever I start seeing. But it's such an important and long-term relationship, with a neurologist that you're working with over time. So,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely. And the if you're not in the area, find a group, whether it just be in a counseling group, because not everybody has a rogue and Claire, who is there to support us in so many different ways on a constant basis. It's very important to be with people.
Yeah. And I think that's a natural thing. A lot of people, especially early on or in general, may shy away from that a little bit. Think, when you're first diagnosed, it's such a big deal to kind of put yourself out there and go somewhere and meet other people. That can be, there's all different kind of feelings I think that can come up with that experience. But overwhelmingly, that's what we hear from people is once they get out there and share and are around people who understand what they're experiencing, that alone is very powerful. And then when it's a group maybe that you actually are exercising with, going through that experience together too, that is also very powerful and is the biggest thing that helps you keep going.
Yes, absolutely. And you
Awesome.
have good support at home.
Yeah, yeah, great transition. The reason that we have both Karen and Bob on today is they both are members at Rogue. So Bob is an extremely supportive spouse in that he actually comes and joins classes with us and does the exercise himself, which is both good for you, Bob, because exercise is good for everyone, but really is important to, support your spouse and help her stay motivated and keep coming. You are an amazing support, Bob, in, I'm sure, every day and in ways that we don't even see, but what we see is really powerful. And so it's great to have you on as well. And the other reason we have you on is because April is Parkinson's Awareness Month. So there's a lot of, special things happening. Raising awareness is really important. We want more people to understand what Parkinson's is, that they probably know someone who has it, that it's much maybe different than, maybe some people know what Parkinson's is, but they have a very specific idea of it, and understanding that there's much more to it and people experience all different types of symptoms. And, there's just so much awareness that it helps to get out there in the community. And there's also events like things where we might be raising funds to help find the cure for Parkinson's, because that is the ultimate goal as well. That's definitely my experience working with people over the past 15 years is I want to see the cure for Parkinson's too. It would be so cool if that happens in the near future, to see all the people that I care about be able to experience improvement and not have to experience this. Hopefully we'd keep exercising together, but it would be more fun and maybe it'd be easier with less symptoms. So Bob, you are involved with exercise, and then you also have gotten involved in the community in a different way. So do you want to kind of tell us what inspired you to start the SoCal Ride for Parkinson's?
I retired in 2017 from teaching and was looking for something to do. Have been an avid bike rider, and there was a bike ride up in Santa Rosa, California, that was put on by the Michael J. Fox Foundation. It was held at the Kendall Jackson Winery, which the venue was spectacular. But I thought, it was, I rode in it 2 years, but down in Southern California, there was bike rides for MS and all kinds of things, and the Susan Dean Komen walk. And so I went on the line and tried to find something that I could join, and there was nothing. And so I figured, why don't I see if I could start a bike ride? And there was a bicycle shop in Costa Mesa that I went to, and they said, yeah, we'll help you. And then that was the second year when I rode at the Fox, the Michael J. Fox up in Santa Rosa. The president of Kendall Jackson, Rick Tigner, whose wife also has Parkinson's, and I talked to him, and he said, you got to do this and get the police involved and the news and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going, he can call up anybody in the county of Santa Rosa and they'll jump because he's the largest employer, and I'm a retired history teacher. So I just figured I didn't have any horses I just couldn't do it. And in 2017, my youngest daughter was home for Christmas, and she said, are you gonna, how's it going? And I said, I just don't have the horses. And she says, Dad, just do it. If you get 6 riders, it's 6 more than they had. And so we cobbled it together. I'm a very, very firm believer that if you donate to a cause, any money that you give to that cause goes to that cause. It doesn't go to putting on the ride. So the first year was in 2018. We had 60 riders. We raised about $6,000, and it cost me $5,500 out of my own pocket. And I was excited, but the financial burden was, anyway, the second year was same thing. We raised about $8,000, and it cost about the same, about $5,500. And then a man by the name of Brian McGuire, who is now at Rogue also, called me and said he wanted to get involved. And his background was in the medical group insurance business. And we had lunch, and the first thing he asked me was, what's your weak suit? And I said, I can't ask for money. I said, I was in sales for 25 years, and I can sell you something, but it's tangible. The idea of asking for money for an ideology was just, I just can't do it. He said that was his strong suit. So the relationship began, and we started to take off like gangbusters, and then COVID hit. And COVID was actually a blessing to us because it gave us a little respite. We became a 501c3. We got our ducks in a line, and we still raised $14,000 the third year. And in the summer of, 20, I wrote a letter to the president of Oak Hospital, thinking I would never hear from them. And then within 30 days, I got a call from them saying they want to help. And the Hoag Pickup Family Neuroscience Institute said they want to help. And I said, you can help by, can we get a parking lot? And so we've been at the Hoag Health Center in Irvine ever since, and it's grown. The fourth year we raised 50,000. The fifth year we raised just over 75,000. And last year we raised over $100,000 and it all goes, even the registration fees, everything goes to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. We've raised in 7 years, to a little over $250,000. And it's not just the raising of the money. When I first started, I talked to Lauren Simmons, who was with PD Buzz, and now she's grown to Parkinson's, Orange County. And we all seem to have the same goal, is to make people aware of Parkinson's. Claire, you were, very instrumental in that. It was like we want to get people who have been diagnosed to know that there's a support group out there. And I think we've done a pretty good job in raising awareness. People that are diagnosed, they know where to go now. And now the goal is for me is to stretch that out to not just Orange County or LA County, San Diego County, Riverside, San Bernardino, but we have people from Texas coming this year. We have a lady from New York, a gentleman from Alaska, Colorado, and the virtual ride. We have a virtual run in Washington, state of Washington. So we want to become more regional than just a multi-state area. Utah, and it's just it's fun to see, and it's just I want to commend the people that have helped me. Marty Furman was the first one to sign up 7 years ago. His wife has Parkinson's, been with me ever since. He's like my right hand, and it's just neat to see. And and the thing is, people ask me, why did you start it? It was like, when I was working out, when we were at Anytime Fitness and there was a group there, I fell in love with you guys. It was just, I wanted to help. And that's why it exists. And we just keep growing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's so beautiful. It's, I think, just a testament to how much you love and care about your wife and the community and the other people, and that we can all work together to be healthy now, but also to raise funds to find the cure and support an organization like Michael J. Fox Foundation that is doing such amazing work. The ride is through Team Fox, kind of the grassroots arm of Michael J. Fox Foundation. And like you said, 100% of donations and the registrations fees all go directly to funding research. So there's no, administrative percentage taken out or anything like that. So it's very exciting, I think, as a donor, to donate, knowing how directly this is going to go. And then we hear about, the actual studies that are funded, and we hear from the researchers. So it's a very cool just system and way that Michael J. Fox Foundation has set things up. So I think the ride has been amazing in increasing awareness of Parkinson's, especially in our community and beyond, and then bringing the community together for a really fun event. It started as just a bike ride, which I think bike rides are cool in terms of the awareness side, because you often get cyclists joining who maybe otherwise didn't know about Parkinson's before. And now when they find, oh, this is a cool ride that I want to join, and oh, this is what it's raising funds for, and they learn a little bit more about it, that really helps increase awareness to a community that otherwise maybe didn't have a direct connection. And then which year was it? 3 years ago that you added the walk?
This will be the third year.
Okay. So it started as a bike ride, and, I participated in a couple other people that I would not consider myself a cyclist. I can ride a bike, but I don't do it on the road. Right. So we participated, and I felt a little nervous about it, when you're not used to being on the road. So I was very excited when you added the walk, because that made it even more accessible. There's so many people who could join and come for the walk. So I think it's awesome. There's 3 distances for the bike ride. So is it 62 miles is the long, or 60?
62, 32.
The longest distance. Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the walk is 3 to 5K. And the 8 mile bike ride is on a completely designated bike path. It's not a bike lane, it's a bike path. And the walk, we were so fortunate to be where we are because the San Diego Creek Trail is right there at the end of the parking lot. And so the 8 mile people and the walkers they don't have to bother with traffic at all. And
Yeah.
The walking path, there's a dead end. There's actually a cement wall that stops, and you can't go any further. So bicyclists don't want to go down there because all they have to do is they got to turn around. But it's great for the walking because there's no traffic, none
Yeah.
whatsoever. So
Yeah.
it's becoming more populated than the rides, quite honestly, which is great, which I'm really happy to see. And it's,
Yeah.
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 People,
It's really, oh, what was that, Karen?
people have their dogs, their
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. We encourage families, dogs, kids, grandkids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The whole thing, I feel like it's becoming even just the space where we start is becoming more fun. Each year there's more things. So there's vendors who are there. Rogue will have a booth. There's multiple vendors that have helpful information. And then there's like a kids play area and, just great people. The Trumbull Clef sing. Last year, there was also some dancing. We do a warm up before we go out on the walk. So there's a lot of things happening just on site there. Even if someone didn't want to ride or even walk, if someone didn't really want to go for a walk, but you just wanted to come and be involved and be at the event, there's enough that would keep you entertained and busy there and, people to hang out with. So you can come and hang out. You can come to go on the walk with us. You can sign up for the rides, whatever distance is right for you.
right.
We have fun things happening. And then also there is an In-N-Out truck that comes, which is In-N-Out is such a California classic and so many people love it. So that is a fun thing. And everybody gets some food after their walk or ride or hangout time. Trying to think if there's anything else kind of about details of the day. The time that we get started does depend on which event you're doing. The longer bike rides start first earlier in the morning, and then the walk is at 8:45. So it's at a very reasonable, pleasant time. The weather's usually beautiful in the morning. It is a really nice setting, and the walk is an out and back. So you can do up to the 3 miles or a 5K or however much of that you want to do. So if you feel comfortable walking a mile, you can head out, walk as long as you feel comfortable, turn around and come back and then, spend time. So it's just set up in a way that is very accessible and fun for everyone. I think brings together lots of people who have Parkinson's, their family, friends, and then also cyclists and, people who just like joining and participating in events.
Right.
So go ahead.
No, as far as the bicycling, there's a bicycle group called Canyon Velo that's in the North Orange County area, but they have probably 100 members, and one of their members has been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and so they're all gathering around him. So that there is a support group for that one gentleman, and that's what we're trying to do, just to get people to come alongside the people they know and love and support them and be there for them.
Yeah, I love it. So the ride is on Saturday, April 27th. So that's why we highlighted Bob and Karen for this month, so we could get this information out early in the month, so we can let people know about the event, so you can plan to attend. If you want to register, you'll go to the website SoCalRide.net. And there's more information and, background and logistics and details on the website. Up at the top, there's a link that says register. And then you have a selection of which event you want to do. So you click that to register. There are multiple teams. Rogue has a team. So if you're one of our Rogue members, you can put Team Rogue at the top where it says team name. And then down at the bottom, there's also a drop down where you'll select Rogue PT and Wellness. And you can start a team yourself if you want to start a team with your family or join another team that you're connected with at the ride. And so we just wanted to let you all know in case you want to come participate. If you're not able to make it on the day of, but you'd like to donate, there's also a donate button. We're definitely trying to beat our record from last year of 100,000 and feel confident we're ahead of where we were last year at this time this year. So that's very exciting. But yeah, we know we can, raise a lot of funds and support the Michael J. Fox Foundation to find the cure and support all the people that we care about who have Parkinson's. So this is a great event. And just, I think when it's, people that you know and care about, that makes a difference too. It's not just some big corporate event that doesn't, have a real personal story and a really, personal intent behind it. So I think that also makes it special for a lot of people too.
We are, we are all volunteers. And we do it out of love of just wanting to get the word out and trying to find a cure. You also, if you can't make it, there's a virtual walk or ride that you can do anytime. Doesn't have to be on the 27th, but that's, it's a way of support. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to sign my in-laws up for the virtual ride. Last year, they were here in April and they got
Right.
to actually attend and walk
That's
with us, which was so special. They were in town from Singapore. So yeah, I'm definitely signing them up. And I was planning on, they have their t-shirts from last year. So I'm going to ask them to take a picture, that day when they go for their walk and send it so we can kind of highlight people participating virtually. And so far, one of our online members has joined as well. To participate virtually. So yeah, we're really excited for that. And we have people, online members who are coming into town for this event. So there's a lot of exciting things happening. It's really bringing people together. So I can't wait for it to actually happen. It's going to be the biggest and best one yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you both for joining today and sharing your stories and your experience, because this is what, things like this is also what inspires other people to get started with exercise, or maybe consider getting an event started in their community if one doesn't already exist, or finding the ones that do exist and participating and supporting, those people and making the events bigger and better. So thank you both so much for joining today, and we'll see you next week for exercise.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claire.
All right.
Right.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.